my senses.
Chinese President Xi Jinping has told his United States counterpart Donald Trump that he wants win-win cooperation over major issues concerning the relationship between the two superpowers, namely trade and North Korea. At the Great Hall of the People in Beijing on Thursday, Trump told Xi that he believes there is a solution to the situation on the Korean peninsula, while emphasizing it was too bad the previous U.S. administrations allowed trade to get out of kilter. In a show of the importance China puts on Trump's first official visit, Thursday morning's welcoming ceremony outside Beijing's Great Hall of the People overlooking Tiananmen Square was broadcast live on state television, unprecedented treatment for a visiting leader. See also make nice Trump's first visit to Asia to be a test in diplomacy, win-win cooperation, the only right choice for China and the US that will lead to a brighter future, she told Trump at bilateral meeting in Beijing. Trump in China. Pic.twitter.com arts 3022 People's Daily. China at PD China November 9, 2017. Trump and Xi hit it off at their first meeting in April at Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida and continued their bromance on Wednesday with an afternoon of sightseeing together with their wives. However, deep divisions persist over trade in North Korea. And while Xi is riding high after consolidating power at a twice-a-decade Communist Party Congress last month, Trump comes to China saddled with low public approval ratings and dogged by investigations into Russian links to his election campaign. Trump has ratcheted up his criticism of China's massive trade surplus with the United States, calling it embarrassing and horrible last week, and has accused Beijing of unfair trade practices, fueling worries of increased tension between the world's two largest trading countries. For its part, China says U.S. restrictions on Chinese investments in the United States and on high-tech exports need to be addressed. Trump railed against China's trade practices during the 2016 U.S. presidential campaign and threatened to take action once in office. But he has since held back on any major trade penalties, making clear he was doing so to give Beijing time to make progress reigning in North Korea. Listen to Trump's granddaughter singing in Mandarin. She said she could get an A for her progress in Mandarin. Trump in China. Pic.twitter.com v. China Daily at China Daily USA November 9, 2017. See also Trump says he solved currency manipulation by calling out China. A U.S. official said both sides are in sync about wanting to minimize friction during the visit and recreate the positive tone of the Mar-a-Lago summit. Trump is principally pressing China to tighten the screws further on North Korea, and at least modest progress is hoped for, although there are no immediate signs of a major breakthrough, the official said. Trump was not expected to put much emphasis in his talks with Xi on thorny issues like the disputed South China Sea and self-ruled Taiwan, claimed by China as its own, although the two presidents' aides may deal with those matters privately. White House senior staff discussed the situation as Trump sits in his car after being grounded from an attempt to visit the demilitarized zone DMZ in the truce village of Panmunjom dividing North Korea and South Korea, at a U.S. military post in Seoul, South Korea, on November 8, 2017. Source Reuters. Jonathan China has repeatedly pushed back at suggestions it should be doing more to rein in North Korea, which does about 90% of its trade with China, saying it is fully enforcing UN sanctions, and that everyone has a responsibility to lower tensions and get talks back on track. Trump used some of his toughest language yet against North Korea in a wide-ranging address in Seoul on Wednesday that lodged specific accusations of chilling human rights abuses, although he offered no evidence to support the accusations. He also called on countries around the world to isolate Pyongyang by denying it any form of support, supply or acceptance. See also bromance between Trump and Xi sours over North Korea, Taiwan. There was no immediate public mention of North Korea from either Trump or Xi as they wrapped up their festivities on Wednesday at the Forbidden City, where Xi gave Trump the rare honor of a personal tour of the UNESCO World Heritage Site. On behalf of @FLOTUS Melania and I, thank you for an unforgettable afternoon and evening at the Forbidden City in Beijing, President Xi and Madam Peng Liyuan. We are looking forward to rejoining you tomorrow morning. https://t.com/of7 shvu. Donald J. Trump at Real Donald Trump. November 8, 2017. Twitter is blocked in China, and his use of the service prompted many people to comment on Chinese social media how he managed to evade China's tough internet controls. Many people use VPNs to skirt the restrictions. Chinese state media praised the tone of the initial get-together on Thursday, part of what China has promised will be a state visit plus for Trump. Trump seems to be pragmatic on his Beijing policy, and has no interest in ideological diplomacy. He hasn't used the issue of human rights to make trouble for China so far, and this means the Sinus relationship can focus on substantive matters, influential tabloid The Global Times said in an editorial. Additional reporting by Reuters.